Milwaukee, Wisconsin, welcome. Third year running, this city is hosting the national championships of STIHL Timbersports. We started with 20 athletes who qualified from all around the country. They are here. They've been split into two pools. Pool A, 10 athletes today we are concentrating on. Only 5 will advance. Tommy Sanders here with Kevin Holtz. And Kevin, today we're looking at 2 of the most challenging of all the 6 disciplines, the springboard and the stock saw.
Yeah, and challenging events for 2 very different reasons in my mind. The springboard event, there are multiple variables to go wrong, and there's big gaps of time to insert your position into. Stock saw, though, on the other hand, we're talking about tenths, hundreds, thousands of seconds. Tiny little errors can run you from first all the way back to 5th.
We're always interested in the new faces emerging in the championships. One of them comes from the West Coast. As a matter of fact, he won the qualifier, won 3 of the disciplines within that qualifier, Nate Hodges.
He is doing everything right. He's investing in equipment. He's investing time in training. We all know he won his regional qualifier. But this is STIHL Timbersports. This is the big stage. Got some questions in mind. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold it together under the big lights. This still is his rookie year, but he's got to really step up here on the big stage. Woo.
Adam Lefkoe, got a good look at him last year. The Tennessee Volunteer has got some definite goals today, and the springboard is among them.
Adam Lefkoe is looking at 2 particular disciplines, and the springboard, he is laser focused right now. He wants to be #1 at this. He wants that national record.
Third year in these championships, Kevin, we have seen Cassidy Shear. He really didn't get the respect he thought he was due that first year. Now he's got the respect, and now his aim is for the very top.
He has come out swinging for the past 2 years, and now we're going into year number 3. He is looking for that championship. He wants to prove that he belongs among the most elite members of this competition.
Got to have a lot of skills in your toolbox if you want to be the champion at the end of it all. And we are ready to go with the first heat of springboard.
Afraid of heights, danger? This is not the discipline for you. The springboard chop, using your axe and 2 boards to ascend a 9-foot pole standing 8 feet in the air to sever a 10.5-inch block. How do you get to the block, though? You have to look at this event in steps. Step 1, chop a bottom pocket. That first pocket is going to be 4 to 6 hits. You will be inserting a board into that pocket. Then you will jump on that board to chop a second pocket. That second pocket will be made in 4 to 6 hits to insert a second board. Jump up, get to the back of the board. That's where you will use every muscle in your body to chop 80 to 90% of the way through the front side of that block. Then you will turn to the back side. You have 2 choices, chopping up and down, removing the chip, or the new school style of hard downward slices.
Our first look at the springboard, the time to beat set by Calvin Willard, 107.29. Mike Slingerland versus Nate Hodges.
Springboard, that's my favorite event, and I can't wait to get that one started. I'm ready. So it's first event of the day. Let her rip and get up there and springboard for me is a cruise control event as well. I don't need to race it. I can go in there, put my pockets in, build them right, and get to the top, and then I'm gonna get out of cruise control and let her rip up in that block.
We'll see what decisions these guys make as they go head-to-head. Both looking at synchronized sets on that first board, though. I think oh, man. Slingerland's got a bit of a softer board set. Hodges is there. He is looking rock solid. His second board set is listing. That pocket's a little bit leaning off the side of the stage. We'll see what it looks like when he gets a board. No, it looks beautiful. Great board set for both Hodges and Slingerland.
Coming up on the 32nd point right now.
Hodges with amazing axe speed. That is like Arden Koger Jr. underhand axe speed here in the springboard. Accuracy is good, though. He is not spraying him around. You can see, though, Slingerland slowing a bit. His board waiting. Look at that time from Nate Hodges.
46.22 unofficially. That is a strong time in the springboard chop.
Let's go back and take a look at this cut. Great first board set there from Nate Hodges. You see him get up on that board. He's got room to work. That back foot could still move back 8 or 10 inches, but look at him just pepper the blows into that log.
I can't remember when I saw speed like that, like he's standing on the ground.
I almost wonder if he had that extra 8, 10 inches, if he could stretch out a little more, get just a little more arc on that axe, maintain the axe speed. What a run by Nate Hodges.
You brought speed, everyone talked about it, and you told me last night, hey, I can make mistakes, I can let the show get into my head. You said, I'm going on cruise control. That looked like you were plenty in control. What did it look like from your vantage?
Well, yeah, I think I was on cruise control for the first hit, and then I kicked her into overdrive. Maybe I shouldn't have, but first pocket went well. My top pocket, it didn't go as expected, but once I got up into the block, I gave it to her.
You had a little mistake on the top pocket. You didn't panic. A lot of competitors will make a mistake and they will just throw the board in, but you had the presence of mind to actually fix that top pocket, and you turned in 39 seconds. You probably think that's slow for you. That's a fast cut, my friend.
Yeah, I'll take it tonight. Yeah, if I make it tomorrow, I would hope to be doing a little better than that, but I'll give the boys a run for their money tonight.
Very, very fast effort by Nate Hodges. That's a shot across the bow.
Kind of gets the jitters out. It's the fun one. My favorite event. It's the longest event, so hey, you get a little workout, you get the blood pumping, and ready to roll on.
Pool A, 10 athletes trying to make it to the finals, and only 5 will advance from Pool A to that next round, the final round of competition, which will yield a champion, STIHL Timbersports champion for the U.S. in 2019.
Almost 90% of the way through the block, and that's 44 seconds, that's 45, unbelievable.
STIHL Timbersports on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by STIHL, maker of a full line of gasoline and battery-powered handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at STIHLUSA.com. By Duluth Trading Company, the official workwear sponsor of STIHL Timbersports. And by John Deere, nothing runs like a deer.
This is the 2019 STIHL Timbersports National Championships. Welcome back to Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Right now we continue with our first discipline, our springboard chop heats, and Nate Hodges of California has set the time to beat at 45.83.
That's 44 seconds, that's 45, unbelievable.
My name is Adam Lethco. I'm from Maryville, Tennessee. My goal is to set the new U.S. springboard record.
Lethco coming off 50 seconds unofficially. Wow.
My fastest time so far is 41.05 seconds.
There it is, Adam, let's go. Shear versus Lethco, our 2 top seeds. Adam Lethco, again, we've said it a few times, says, I'm just going for a record. I don't think it's going to be a record looking at that first board set. He had to slap a couple extra hits in there. Shear up first, but not a very strong board set.
No, not good at all.
Oh, there it is. Cassidy thinks he's got that second board hole cut. This is where, oh, I don't like pulling on that axe that hard. There he goes. Cassidy Shear, though, is up, looking to settle in. Let's go, the seconds are ticking away. I think he knows he's not gonna have his record on this one, but still gonna be right at the top of the list in terms of STIHL championship points. Should be around 50 seconds, I would think, when this is all said and done. There it is.
Nailed right on. Unofficially 51.
Posts a 51-second time and shakes his head in disgust.
Yeah. Well, both of these competitors disappointed, both of them doing a bit of head shaking because neither one of them could get close to that time laid down earlier by Nate Hodges, 45.83. And in winning this springboard chop competition, he served notice to the field that he is in it to win it. So let's meet him. Who is Nate Hodges?
You know, I've been in lumberjack type sports or, you know, logger competitions since I was 19, about the past 16 years. Our local shows and basically all the shows in California were more of your antique pagan raker saws, no single bucking, so a lot of double bucking, and mainly axe throwing and choker races. So I would call it like almost like lumberjack sports and not really timber sports. And was always told by different, you know, competitors like Jim Taylor, and he kind of see me one time and goes, man, Nate, you need to get into STIHL Timbersports. And I kind of looked at him like, you know, I said, you're crazy, Jim. I'm not cut out for that. You know, you guys are the big boys, and there's just no way. And I never had really planned on getting into timber sports. I never once, growing up, I never went to a college like a lot of guys. I didn't have family, and I had no connections or ties to timber sports. So one day my girlfriend and I were just flipping through the channel. And I go, oh, wow, look, it's STIHL Timbersports is on.
He's steady on that board for 4 hits, and he is.
And we start watching it, you know, and I'm looking at it going, holy moly, you know, this is, I think this is my sport, and I didn't, you know, I haven't been doing it, and, you know, hey, maybe Jim Taylor was right, and I'm watching the guys cut and chop and do the events, and I looked at her and I said, hey, you know what? I'm pretty sure, I can hit as hard as these big boys, and I can hit that log and give them a run for their money if I put some effort into this. Took a little bit of time, got the ball rolling. I begged, borrowed, and pleaded to get my first racing axe. I did my first ever Steel Series type competition 2 years ago, and first standing block I ever cut, I went out, I literally had only been training for a week, and I won the competition. And that just started the fire. And I hit the sport full force. I went from being a nobody to being basically ranked into the top 10 for the 2019 season. And I made my first debut at the Steel Series qualifier this year and came away with the first place win. Typically, nobody makes that quick of advancements in the sport. And I put in a lot of time and dedication and went in there and won that qualifier, and I think it was an eye-opener for everybody.
This is the 2019 Steel Timbersports National Championships, coming to you from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, where we just completed our first discipline, the Springboard chop. West Coast axeman Nate Hodges, a rookie in these championships, came out on top. And now we are ready to move into our next discipline, the stock saw. To tell us more about our next event, here's Dave Jewett, the Duluth Trading Company Discipline Review.
Steel Timber Sports, Steel Chainsaw. Competitors on an even playing field. This is the stock saw. The Steel Stock Saw, two competitors going head-to-head with identically tuned MS661 chainsaws. After a 15-second warm-up, all 8 fingers must be crossing that line. On go, with speed, they retrieve the saw. With precision, they enter the saw into the wood, listening to the RPMs, feeling the saw cutting through the wood, severing that first clean disc. Then, the perfect transition, and again, with precision, entering the log for the upcut. Hopefully seeing 2 complete discs on the ground, and of course, this 4-inch line remaining for a leading cut.
Matt Bolton going up against Jason Lentz.
Well, Tommy, one of the key differences between those series of springboard heats that we just saw and this stock saw is your margin of error. In this discipline, you're gonna see times stacked within tenths of a second, maybe even hundredths of a second, and having a good cut just isn't good enough. You've gotta be exceptional, you've gotta be flawless.
Running with this crew, how much can you gain with a superlative first move to the wood?
Oh, I mean, you can move yourself from 4th to 1st or 5th to 1st.
3, 2, 1, go!
And look at how synchronized these guys are. Matt Bolton just barely ahead at the switch, but it isn't even enough. Jason Lentz reels him in on the second cut. Take a look here, you see Matt Bolton, there it is. He was just ahead of Jason Lentz to the block, but somewhere in there, Jason found that last bit of horsepower. Hey, Jason was behind, it was in that upcut. It was completely in that upcut.
Official time of 11.09 seconds for your winner, Jason Lentz. Well, Nate Hodges is now on everyone's radar here, coming on the heels of his victory in the very first discipline. Big victory, in fact, in the springboard chop. Cassidy Shear, man on top of the bubble right now in 5th place, but we're not even 2 full disciplines in.
Both these guys really quick to the block. Something going on Cassidy Shear's side. I think he's being a little bit ambitious. Oh, it's paying off, though. Oh wow.
Man, call it Kevin. Could be that time in the 10s, the first one you talked about, too.
Let's go back and take a look at this run side by side. Really tight on the start. Look at the thin cut from Cassidy Shear right down the line. Beautiful placement. What a great head-to-head run. Tommy, this is what we're talking about. This discipline is just going to come down to just micro fractions of a second.
Well, it was Hodges at the turn, but watch out.
Yeah, I'll take it. This is a stressful event. Folks probably watching at home going, oh, look, they're just running a stock chainsaw. But tell you what, get up on this stage and it's a different game. I'd rather cut 3 springboards than do a stock saw run.
Well, he got it done. Official time of 10.91 and the victory in the heat. Heat number 2 goes to Nate Hodges. Cassidy Shear moves into 2nd place with an 11.06. So Cody LaFon on the right, Adam Lethko on the left, or in the foreground. Adam Lethko third place finish in the springboard chop, and Cody LeBon wanting to claw a little back here. Had the cellar finish in his go at the springboard chop.
Wow, stand number 2. Cody LeBon very quick to that log, and he is bringing it now.
Oh,
you know what? I would have given this hands down to Adam Lethko, but he seemed to hesitate. He wasn't as quick to the wood. It set him behind right from the get-go, and unofficially, Cody LeBon, a 10:52 showing on that clock. Tenths, hundredths of a second. He said guys out there are seeking to be at like 1.03 seconds to the wood. And if you could get rid of that 03 part,
you could move up 3 places.
Oh, yeah.
Cody LeBon, a 10.78. Let's have him on top. Adam Lethko, 11.49. So that has him at the bottom of the sixth place right now. 2 more heats left to go.
I put in quite a few hours in that, especially just this week. I put in probably a good solid hour in just stock saw training, and I'm very happy. It paid off very well. Thank you.
Well, here in Milwaukee, it's the West Coast competitor Cody LeBon setting the time to beat with only 2 heats remaining in the stock saw. We'll be back.
STIHL Timber Sports on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by STIHL, maker of a full line of gasoline and battery-powered handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at STIHLUSA.com. By Duluth Trading Company, the official workwear sponsor of STIHL Timber Sports. And by John Deere. Nothing runs like a deer.
Welcome back to Milwaukee. This is the 2019 STIHL Timber Sports National Championships. We are in our second discipline of the competition, the stock saw. Cody LeBon has set the time to beat at 10.78 with only 2 heats remaining. In this heat, we have Mike Slingerland going up against Calvin Willard. All these guys have trained exceptionally hard to get here. That certainly includes Mike Slingerland.
Well, when I train for this, it's very specific in the order of the events, how long each one takes, how much rest there is between each thing. It's always pretty consistent. So I try to train as much as possible the exact order, the exact timing that I'm going to have here. So I'm pretty much ready and used to it and ready to move from one event to the next to the next.
STIHL championship points. Calvin Willard coming in here in 6th place and Mike Slingerland in 7th. So both of these guys could gain from a superior effort in the stock saw. Time to beat at 10.78 from Cody LeBon.
2, 1, go!
Very clean, very quick to the block for both these competitors. Professor Mike Slingerland ahead at the switch, and he is running away with this. Look at Mike Slingerland.
Mike Slingerland's winning performance in that heat is our John Deere power play. Nothing runs like a deer.
You see all 8 fingers across the block. Look at that saw. It's like he just eases it into the wood. It melts into the top of that white pine, right on the line. Nice thick cut. It reduces the sideways pressure against the rivets in that chain. Barely any air time as he makes the transition from cut 1 to cut 2. Nice job.
Yeah, the wily old veteran takes over the lead with that cut. Official time of 10.64.
Just poetry. Just beautiful cutting from Mike Slingerland, making all the right technical moves.
Yeah, I knew it was a good run. I got to the wood quick. It was pretty smooth. Really good switch. I just tried to listen to the motor and keep it in the power band, you know. So I did a lot of training for this, and stock saw is a critical event for me.
Well, he's going to wind up with no worse than 3rd place points here in stock saw, so that is a great outcome for Mike Slingerland. 2nd place man coming into this discipline. STIHL championship points. Nathan Waterfield is going to be one of the duo in our final heat, going up against Christopher Henning.
And of course, the big story on stand number 2 is Nathan Waterfield is here. He is back. He's a shocker, a disappointment, a stunner, whatever adjective you want to use to describe last year. Put that in the past. It's over. It's done.
Well, I have to be perfectly blunt about it. Like, I do have expectations of myself, and they start at 20. For me to not be here is like, that's bad. And I still feel like that, even though I've thought about it for a while. I want to be in the top 3. Am I going to beat Matt Koger? I don't know. He's damn good. But I know if I can put it all together, that's where I'll be popping the cork and really feeling good about myself is there.
Time to beat again, 10.64 from Mike Slingerland.
Both these guys are quick to the wood. Waterfield, it looked like he had just a little bit of a stutter at the top of the block. Look at Henning, though, ahead at the switch.
Oh, it's going to be
Henning.
Henning.
It is all Henning, showing a time in the 11.2 range, the low 11 range. Beautiful run from Chris Henning. Unfortunately, that 11-second time is not going to get him the points that he wants.
We have the winner of the stocks on Mike Slingerland. There is actually a formula. You're just telling me, of course, we call you the professor, and you're calculating in order to advance to the final round. What is your formula?
Well, my plan is if you average 5th place all the way through, you'll end up in the top 5. I mean, you might advance with less points, but if you have that many points, you're sure to advance, in my opinion.
And if you take first place in one of the most difficult events to win, the stock sale, which you just did, it really helps you out.
Yeah, I was 2 points behind after the springboard, but now I just got 4 extra points in that event, so now I'm pretty happy.
We always love the honesty of Mike Slingerland. Mike, thanks very much, and congratulations. There's your stock saw winner right there.
Well, we talked about how tight the times would be in the stock saw, and look at that, all of them within less than a second. From Mike Slingerland's winning time to 10th place Adam Lethko. Henning, Laban, and Hodges in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and there you can see Nate Hodges still leading in STIHL championship points after 2 disciplines, but there are 4 more to go before we determine who in Pool A goes to the finals. And we'll pick up with the next 2 disciplines when we see you next time here in Milwaukee.
My view, it looks like a perfect cut. Calvin Willard, one of the best choppers in the business. What a cut! Nate Hodges around at an 8-second time. That's a beautiful cut.